Millionaire visits his abandoned home, but shocked to see his dead wife living there with his son. What he did next made him discover the truth his own mother buried for years. Hello friends. Welcome to our story. Before we start, please like this video and subscribe. Also, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? New York? London? Maybe South Africa or Jamaica? We want to know. The black car moved slowly through the city streets. In the back seat, Nathan Cole sat with his arms crossed, looking out the window but not really seeing anything. Nathan was 35 years old. His suit was dark blue and looked brand new. His shoes were so shiny you could see your face in them. His briefcase sat next to him, full of important papers about buying and selling buildings. He looked like a man who had everything. Money, success, power. But if you looked closely at his eyes, you would see something else. Something sad and empty, like a house with no one living inside. "Mr. Cole, we'll be there in 20 minutes, said his driver, Mr. Peterson, from the front seat. "Traffic is light today." "Good," Nathan said. He didn't smile. He rarely smiled anymore. Nathan was going to look at an old house. His old house, actually. The house where he grew up. The house he hadn't seen in 8 long years. A big company wanted to buy all the houses on that street. They would knock them down and build new stores. Nathan would get a lot of money, over $200,000 just for his old house. It was good business. Smart business. That's what Nathan told himself. But deep inside, his stomach felt twisted and uncomfortable. The car drove past tall buildings made of glass and steel. Past expensive restaurants where people ate fancy food. Past stores selling things that cost more money than Nathan used to make in a whole year, back when he was young and poor. Then slowly the city started to change. The buildings got shorter. The paint on walls started to peel and crack. There were more potholes in the road. The car bumped and bounced. Nathan sat up a little straighter. He knew this area. This was the old neighborhood. The place where he came from before he became successful. He saw kids playing basketball in a court with a bent hoop and no net. He saw a man selling fruits from a wooden cart. He saw old cars parked on the street, some with broken windows. "We're getting close, sir," Mr. Peterson said quietly. Nathan's hands felt cold. He rubbed them together. 8 years. 8 years since he'd been here. 8 years since the worst day of his life. He closed his eyes and remembered. The phone call from the police. The terrible words, "Mr. Cole, there's been an accident. Your wife. I'm so sorry. She didn't make it. Evelyn." His beautiful Evelyn with her bright smile and kind heart. Gone in one terrible moment. A car accident. A fire. Nothing left but ashes. Nathan had been 27 years old when she died. They'd only been married for 6 months. 6 short, happy months. After she died, Nathan couldn't stay in that house anymore. Every room reminded him of her. Her coffee cup in the kitchen. Her books by the bed. Her jacket hanging by the door. So he left. He locked the door and never went back. He threw himself into work. Building. Buying. Selling. Making money. Getting rich. Trying to fill the empty hole in his heart with success. It never worked. But he kept trying anyway. "Sir, we're here," Mr. Peterson said. The car stopped. Nathan opened his eyes and looked out the window. There it was. The old house on Maple Street. It looked terrible. The white paint had turned gray and dirty. The fence was falling down. Weeds grew everywhere, tall and wild. One of the upstairs windows was cracked. "Should I wait in the car, sir?" Mr. Peterson asked. "Yes. I won't be long," Nathan said. "Just need to look around, take some pictures for the sale paperwork. 10 minutes, maybe 15. He grabbed his briefcase and stepped out of the car. The air smelled different here. Like old wood and dirt and someone cooking beans nearby. It smelled like his childhood. Like the past. Nathan walked slowly toward the house, his fancy shoes crunching on the broken sidewalk. Just get this over with, he told himself. Take the pictures. Sign the papers. Sell it. Move on. But then he noticed something strange. The grass near the front porch wasn't as tall as the rest. Like someone had walked through it recently. Many times. Nathan frowned. Probably just kids playing, he thought. Or homeless people breaking in to sleep. He walked up to the porch. The wooden steps creaked loudly under his feet, like they were complaining about his weight. He reached for his keys. He brought the old house key just in case, but then he stopped. His heart started beating faster. There was light coming from inside the house. Through the dirty front window he could see a soft yellow glow. Like a lamp was on. Nathan's mouth went dry. Maybe someone forgot to turn off the electricity when they closed the account? He wondered. But no, that didn't make sense. The electricity had been cut off years ago. He stepped closer to the window and looked inside. What he saw made him freeze like a statue. The living room wasn't empty. There was furniture. A brown couch. A small wooden table. A colorful rug on the floor. Toys, a red truck, some building blocks, stuffed animals. Someone was living in his house. Anger rushed through Nathan's body like hot water. This was his house. Who would dare break in and live here? He walked to the front door and knocked. Hard. Boom, boom, boom. He heard sounds inside. Footsteps. Light and careful, like someone trying to be quiet. The footsteps came closer. The door opened just a crack. Just enough for Nathan to see one eye, one side of a face. A woman's face. "Can I help you?" she asked. Her voice was soft but scared. "Yes, you can help me by," Nathan started to say angrily. But then the door opened a little wider. Nathan saw her face fully now. And every word died in his throat. Time stopped. The world stopped. Everything stopped. Because he knew that face. He knew those warm brown eyes. He knew that small beauty mark near her left ear. He knew the way her eyebrows curved. He knew the tiny scar above her lip from when she fell off her bike as a kid. He knew everything about this face because he had loved it. Because he had kissed it. Because he had dreamed about it every single night for 8 years. Evelyn. The word came out as barely a whisper. The woman's eyes went huge. Her face turned white as paper. Her hand gripped the door so hard her knuckles turned white. "Nathan," she breathed. They stared at each other. Neither one could move. Neither one could breathe. This was impossible. Completely impossible. Because Evelyn was dead. Nathan had gone to her funeral. He had watched them put her coffin in the ground. He had cried until he had no more tears left. But she was standing right here. Right in front of him. Alive. Real. Breathing. You're dead," Nathan whispered. "How are you? This can't be." "Mom? Who's at the door?" A small voice called from inside the house. Nathan's heart nearly exploded. "Mom?" A little boy came running up behind Evelyn. He was small, maybe 7 or 8 years old. He had messy brown hair that stuck up in funny directions. He wore old jeans with holes in the knees and a blue t-shirt with a dinosaur on it. The boy grabbed Evelyn's hand and looked up at Nathan with curious eyes. Green eyes. The exact same shade of green as Nathan's eyes. Nathan felt like the ground was disappearing under his feet. The boy had his eyes. His nose. The same shape of his face. Even the same way his left ear stuck out just a tiny bit more than his right. "Mom, is this man bothering you?" the boy asked, trying to sound brave even though he looked a little scared. Nathan couldn't speak. Couldn't move. Couldn't think. Evelyn pulled the boy closer to her, protecting him. When she looked at Nathan now, there was no love in her eyes. Only fear and anger. "You need to leave," she said. Her voice was shaking. "Right now." "Evelyn, I don't understand," Nathan finally managed to say. "They told me you died. The police came to my office. They said there was an accident. A car fire. They said you were." "I know what they told you," Evelyn said coldly. "Now leave. You're scaring my son." "Your son?" Nathan's voice cracked. Is he? He couldn't finish the question. But he didn't need to. The answer was right there in the boy's face. In those green eyes. "This is Lucas," Evelyn said, her hand protectively on the boy's shoulder. "And yes, before you ask, you have no rights here. No claim. No place in our lives." "But I'm his," Nathan started. "You're nothing to him," Evelyn said louder now. "You left us. You believed what you were told and you walked away and you never looked back. Because I thought you were dead," Nathan shouted. Lucas started to cry. "Mom, I'm scared. Make him go away." Evelyn picked up Lucas even though he was really too big to carry now. She held him tight against her chest. "Go away, Nathan," she said, tears running down her face now too. "We don't need you. We've been fine without you. Just, please, go away." "Evelyn, please just tell me what happened," Nathan begged. "How are you alive? Where have you been? Why didn't you?" "Go away," Evelyn screamed. And she slammed the door in his face. Bang. Nathan stood on the porch, staring at the closed door. His whole body was shaking. His mind was spinning like a tornado. Evelyn was alive. He had a son. Nothing he believed was true. He raised his hand to knock again but stopped. Through the window he could see Evelyn sitting on the couch, holding Lucas, rocking him back and forth. She was crying. Lucas was crying. Nathan lowered his hand. Slowly, like a man in a dream, he walked back to the car. "Everything okay, Mr. Cole?" Mr. Peterson asked when Nathan got in. "You look like you've seen a ghost." Nathan stared at the house. at the light glowing in the window, at the shadow of Evelyn and the boy, his boy, moving inside. "Maybe I have," Nathan whispered. "Sir?" "Drive," Nathan said. "Just drive." But as the car pulled away, Nathan kept looking back, looking at the house he came to sell, the house that held the biggest secret of his life. His wife wasn't dead. He had a son, and nothing would ever be the same again. Nathan didn't sleep that night. He sat in his big apartment with its expensive furniture and huge windows overlooking the city. Usually he loved this view. All those lights twinkling below made him feel powerful and successful. But tonight he didn't even look at the view. He sat on his leather couch in the dark, staring at nothing, thinking about everything. Evelyn was alive. He had a son named Lucas. His whole life was a lie. When the sun came up, Nathan was still sitting there. He hadn't moved. His expensive suit was wrinkled now. His perfect hair was messy. His phone buzzed. A text message from his assistant, Rebecca. "Good morning, Mr. Cole. Don't forget, meeting at 9 a.m. about the Maple Street property sale. The buyers are very excited." Nathan stared at the message. The Maple Street property. His old house. The house where Evelyn and Lucas were living. He was supposed to sell it, sign the papers, take the money. But how could he do that now? His fingers shook as he typed back, "Cancel the meeting. Tell them the property is no longer for sale." He pressed send before he could change his mind. 3 dots appeared immediately. Rebecca was typing. "Are you sure? They're offering $200,000. That's a great price for that old neighborhood." Nathan typed back, "I'm sure. Cancel everything related to that property." He turned off his phone and threw it on the couch. Then he stood up, walked to his bedroom and changed into simpler clothes. Jeans. A plain shirt. Normal shoes instead of his fancy ones. He looked at himself in the mirror. Without the expensive suit, he looked more like the old Nathan. The Nathan from 8 years ago, before he became rich and successful and empty inside. "What are you doing?" he asked his reflection. But he knew the answer. He was going back to that house. He was going to get answers. Real answers this time. By 8:30 in the morning, Nathan was parked outside the house on Maple Street again. Mr. Peterson had offered to drive him, but Nathan said no. He drove himself this time in his regular car, not the fancy one. He didn't want to look rich and important today. He just wanted to look human. He sat in the car watching the house. At 8:45, the front door opened. Evelyn came out holding Lucas's hand. Lucas had a backpack on, a blue one with a rocket ship on it. They walked down the broken sidewalk together. Nathan's heart squeezed tight in his chest. Lucas was skipping a little as he walked, talking excitedly about something. Evelyn was smiling down at him, nodding, brushing his messy hair out of his eyes with her free hand. They looked happy. Like a real family. Like they didn't need anyone else. They turned the corner and disappeared from view. Nathan waited 5 minutes. Then 10. Making sure they were really gone. Then he got out of his car and walked to the house. The front door was locked, of course. But Nathan still had his key. The old key from 8 years ago. His hand shook as he put the key in the lock. Click. It still worked. Nathan pushed the door open slowly and stepped inside. The house smelled different than he remembered. It smelled like cooking and soap and something sweet like cookies. It smelled like people actually lived here. Like a home. Nathan stood in the doorway just looking around. The living room had changed so much. The old, dusty furniture he remembered was gone. Now there was a simple brown couch with colorful pillows. A wooden coffee table with some crayons and coloring books on it. Pictures on the walls, pictures Lucas had drawn. A house. A tree. A smiling sun. A stick figure woman holding hands with a stick figure boy. No stick figure man. Nathan's throat felt tight. He walked further into the house, his feet quiet on the old wooden floor. In the kitchen there were dishes drying